Hello, hello. So in this video, what I'd like to do is to do part read along, part discussion of the AWS white paper overview of Amazon Web Services. So if you're preparing for the Cloud Foundations exam, this is a critical paper for really understanding the overall gist of AWS, the services that are offered, the advantages of using the cloud, the specific services that you can find on AWS. So, without further ado, let's dive in. This white paper is available on the AWS white paper website, and I'll have the link down below. I am recording this on January 10th, 2025, and AWS does update their white papers with a high degree of regularity. So, if this becomes out of date, just follow the link in the description below and you'll have the most recent updated white paper. So without further ado, this is owned by AWS. I am just reading it for those that would like a read along, and then we'll have a little bit of discussion. All right, so in terms of a table of contents, this is a 163 page white paper. I'm going to focus in this video on the first 7 pages. So kind of going through the overview of AWS, what is cloud computing, advantages of the cloud, types of cloud computing, global infrastructure, and security and compliance. The rest of the paper focuses on describing each of the 200 plus AWS services, and they're organized by category or service type. So, this next section is an overview of Amazon Web Services, published August 27th, 2024. Let's begin. Amazon Web Services offers a broad set of global cloud-based products, including compute, storage, databases, analytics, networking, mobile, developer tools, management tools, IoT, security, and enterprise applications, on demand, available in seconds, with pay-as-you-go pricing. From data warehousing to deployment tools, directories to content delivery, over 200 AWS services are available. New services can be provisioned quickly without the upfront fixed expense. This allows enterprises, startups, small and medium-sized businesses, and customers in the public sector to access the building blocks they need to respond quickly to changing business requirements. This white paper provides you with an overview of the benefits of the AWS cloud and introduces you to the services that make up the platform. The next section is the introduction. In 2006, AWS, Amazon Web Services, began offering IT infrastructure services to businesses as web services, now commonly known as cloud computing. One of the key benefits of cloud computing is the opportunity to replace upfront capital infrastructure expenses with low variable costs that scale with your business. With the cloud, businesses no longer need to plan for and procure servers and other IT infrastructure weeks or months in advance. Instead, they can instantly spin up hundreds or thousands of servers in minutes and deliver results faster. Today, AWS provides a highly reliable, scalable, low-cost infrastructure platform in the cloud that powers hundreds of thousands of businesses in 190 countries around the world. This video explores how millions of customers use AWS to take advantage of the efficiencies of cloud computing. And there's a video here that you can watch. All right, so the next section. What is cloud computing? Cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of compute power, database, storage, applications, and other IT resources through a cloud services platform via the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. Whether you are running applications that share photos to millions of mobile users, or you're supporting the critical operations of your business, a cloud services platform provides rapid access to flexible and low-cost IT resources. With cloud computing, you don't need to make large upfront investments in hardware and spend a lot of time on the heavy lifting of managing that hardware. Instead, you can provision exactly the right type and size of computing resources you need to power your newest bright idea or operate your IT department. You can access as many resources as you need almost instantly and only pay for what you use. Cloud computing provides a simple way to access servers, storage, databases, and a broad set of application services over the internet. A cloud services platform such as Amazon Web Services owns and maintains the network connected hardware required for these application services, while you can provision and use what you need via a web application. So in this section, we have the definition of cloud computing, which is this first sentence here. So cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of compute power, database, storage, applications, and other IT resources through a cloud services platform via the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. Another highlight might be that you can provision exactly the right type and size of computing resources you need and pay only for what you use. One other key thing is that cloud computing is available over the internet. So an internet connection is required. All right, so the next section, 6 advantages of cloud computing. Trade fixed expense for variable expense. Instead of having to invest heavily in data centers and servers before you know how you're going to use them, you can pay only when you consume computing resources and pay only for how much you consume. Next, benefit from massive economies of scale. By using cloud computing, you can achieve a lower variable cost than you can get on your own. Because usage from hundreds of thousands of customers is aggregated in the cloud, providers such as AWS can achieve higher economies of scale, which translates into lower pay-as-you-go prices. Next, stop guessing capacity. Eliminate guessing on your infrastructure capacity needs. When you make a capacity decision prior to deploying an application, you often end up either sitting on expensive idle resources or dealing with limited capacity. With cloud computing, these problems go away. You can access as much or as little capacity as you need and scale up and down as required with only a few minutes' notice. Next, increase speed and agility. In a cloud computing environment, new IT resources are only a click away, which means that you reduce the time to make those resources available to your developers from weeks to just minutes. This results in a dramatic increase in agility for the organization, since the cost and time it takes to experiment and develop is significantly lower. Next, stop spending money running and maintaining data centers. Focus on projects that differentiate your business, not the infrastructure. Cloud computing lets you focus on your own customers rather than on the heavy lifting of racking, stacking, and powering servers. And finally, go global in minutes. easily deploy your application in multiple regions around the world with just a few clicks. This means you can provide lower latency and a better experience for your customers at minimal cost. So that concludes this section. In terms of the key takeaways for this section, 6 advantages of cloud computing, what you want to remember here are really the items that appear in bold. So the 6 advantages of cloud computing: trade fixed expense for variable expense, benefit from massive economies of scale, stop guessing capacity, increase speed and agility, stop spending money running and maintaining data centers, and go global in minutes. The next section is types of cloud computing. Cloud computing provides developers and IT departments with the ability to focus on what matters most and avoid undifferentiated work such as procurement, maintenance, and capacity planning. As cloud computing has grown in popularity, several different models and deployment strategies have emerged to help meet specific needs of different users. Each type provides you with different levels of control, flexibility, and management. Deployment models. Cloud. A cloud-based application is fully deployed in the cloud, and all parts of the application run in the cloud. Applications in the cloud have either been created in the cloud or have been migrated from an existing infrastructure to take advantage of the benefits of cloud computing. Cloud-based applications can be built on low-level infrastructure pieces or can use higher-level services that provide abstraction from the management, architecting, and scaling required of core infrastructure. Next, private cloud or on-premises. The deployment of resources on-premises using virtualization and resource management tools is sometimes called the private cloud. On-premises deployment doesn't provide many of the benefits of cloud computing, but it is sometimes sought for its ability to provide dedicated resources. In most cases, this deployment model is the same as legacy IT infrastructure while using application management and virtualization technologies to try and increase resource utilization. For more information on how AWS can help, refer to Use Case Cloud Services on Premises. Next, hybrid. A hybrid deployment is a way to connect infrastructure and applications between cloud-based resources and existing resources that are not located in the cloud. The most common method of hybrid deployment is between the cloud and existing on-premises infrastructure to extend and grow an organization's infrastructure into the cloud while connecting cloud resources to the internal system. For more information on how AWS can help you with your hybrid deployment, visit our Hybrid Cloud with AWS page. So, for this section, we see that we have 3 different deployment models. So one is cloud or fully cloud-based applications, fully deployed in the cloud. You have on-premises or on-prem, and this really is the physical infrastructure residing on premises. So this is kind of the traditional way that IT infrastructure is set up. And then you have hybrid, which is really a mix of the two. So next, we have the topic of global infrastructure. The AWS cloud infrastructure is built around AWS regions and availability zones. An AWS region is a physical location in the world where we have multiple availability zones. Availability zones consist of one or more discrete data centers, each with redundant power, networking, and connectivity housed in separate facilities. These availability zones offer you the ability to operate production applications and databases that are more highly available, fault tolerant, and scalable than would be possible from a single data center. For the latest information on the AWS Cloud Availability Zones and AWS regions, refer to the AWS Global Infrastructure page. So, components of the AWS Cloud Infrastructure is stated here. It's built around AWS regions, and then each region is made up of various availability zones. If we follow the AWS Global Infrastructure page, you can see that there currently are 35 launched regions, and then each region has multiple availability zones. There's 111 total availability zones as of today, as of this recording. So on a map, this is what you have here. So you have various regions are mapped here. And you can see a little bit of information about each region, and then the number of availability zones within each region are listed as well. All right, the last topic that we'll talk about in this video is security and compliance. Security. Cloud security at AWS is the highest priority. As organizations embrace the scalability and flexibility of the cloud, AWS is helping them evolve security, identity, and compliance into key business enablers. AWS builds security into the core of our cloud infrastructure and offers foundational services to help organizations meet their unique security requirements in the cloud. As an AWS customer, you will benefit from a data center and network architecture built to meet the requirements of the most security-sensitive organizations. Security in the cloud is much like security in your on-premises data centers, only without the costs of maintaining facilities and hardware. In the cloud, you don't have to manage physical servers or storage devices. Instead, you use software-based security tools to monitor and protect the flow of information into and out of your cloud resources. An advantage of the AWS cloud is that it allows you to scale and innovate while maintaining a secure environment and paying only for the services you use. This means that you can have the security you need at a lower cost than in an on-premises environment. As an AWS customer, you inherit all the best practices of AWS policies, architecture, and operational processes built to satisfy the requirements of our most security-sensitive customers. Get the flexibility and agility you need in security controls. The AWS cloud enables a shared responsibility model. While AWS manages security of the cloud, you are responsible for security in the cloud. This means that you retain control of the security you choose to implement to protect your own content, platform, applications, systems, and networks no differently than you would in an on-site data center. AWS provides you with guidance and expertise through online resources, personnel, and partners. AWS provides you with advisories for current issues, plus you have the opportunity to work with AWS when you encounter security issues. You get access to hundreds of tools and features to help you to meet your security objectives. AWS provides security-specific tools and features across network security, configuration management, access control, and data encryption. Finally, AWS environments are continuously audited with certifications from accreditation bodies across geographies and verticals. In the AWS environment, you can take advantage of automated tools for asset inventory and privileged access reporting. Benefits of AWS security. First, keep your data safe. The AWS infrastructure puts strong safeguards in place to help protect your privacy. All data is stored in highly secure AWS data centers. Next, meet compliance requirements. AWS manages dozens of compliance programs in its infrastructure. This means that segments of your compliance have already been completed. Next, save money. Cut costs by using AWS data centers. Maintain the highest standard of security without having to manage your own facility. And finally, scale quickly. Security scales with your AWS cloud usage. No matter the size of your business, the AWS infrastructure is designed to keep your data safe. Compliance. AWS Cloud Compliance helps you understand the robust controls in place at AWS for security and data protection in the cloud. Compliance is a shared responsibility between AWS and the customer, and you can visit the shared responsibility model to learn more. Customers can feel confident in operating and building on top of the security controls AWS uses on its infrastructure. The IT infrastructure that AWS provides to its customers is designed and managed in alignment with best security practices and a variety of IT security standards. The following is a partial list of assurance programs with which AWS complies. So SOC 1, ISAE 3402, SOC 2, and SOC 3, FISMA, DIACAP, and FedRAMP, PCI DSS Level 1, ISO 9001, ISO 27001, ISO 27017, and ISO 27018. AWS provides customers a wide range of information on its IT control environment in white papers, reports, certifications, accreditations, and other third-party attestations. More information is available in the Risk and Compliance White Paper and the AWS Security Center. So, key takeaways from this section. If we go back up to security, one thing that we will explore more and more as shared responsibility model, where AWS manages security of the cloud, and which we said, is really the AWS infrastructure hardware. And then we as users are responsible for security in the cloud. So this is, if you think about maybe account level or service level security, for the services that you spin up. Benefits of AWS security, there are 4 that are listed here. Keep your data safe, meet compliance requirements, save money, and scale quickly. So back in the table of contents, this was really the framework or the setup for the overview of Amazon Web Services white paper. The remainder of this document really goes into a high-level view or discussion of the various core services offered by AWS, these being services like analytics and machine learning, compute, storage, identity and access management, security, etc. So I also highly encourage you to log into the AWS, your AWS account, and explore the services in that way. So they are kind of organized around these primary or core services, as you see listed here. So thanks for listening, and let me know if this was useful to you.